fights through me. He conquers through me. And I live and breathe in him. In him, I have life and meaning. Miguel de Cervantes, a vuestras órdenes. And in lugar de la Mancha. Of course I forgot. You're all English. In a certain town of La Mancha, the name of which I do not care to recollect, there lives an hidalgo, an idle gentleman born to the rural gentry. His name is Alonso Quixote. Our hidalgo borders on the age of 50. He has a spare figure, gaunt features, and is as weathered as the parched plains of La Mancha itself. He possesses a modest plot of land and a meager income, which scarcely covers the cost of his daily lentils and his Sunday stew. He is a lonely man. His life is dull and dry. He has never known love. For all that, he is an early riser and an honest gentleman who spends his time of leisure, which is most of the year, devoted to constant study.
The avid readings of old tales of ancient chivalry.
He lives with his niece Antonia and his housekeeper.
Uncle, you neglect the management of your dwindling estate to buy volume after volume of outmoded fiction.
You do nothing but read dusty old books from night to morning, morning to night.
Of particular interest are the knights errants of centuries past.
Those traveling gentlemen who allied themselves to no nobleman's court, but lived under the cloak of heaven.
They rode out ready to face danger on behalf of the needy and the frail.
And who was the most illustrious knight? Arthur of England or El Cid?
Reinaldos de Montalban.
Amadeus of Gaul.
The knight of the flaming sword.
Fantasies fill his head with everything he reads. Enchantments.
Battles.
Challenges.
Giants.
Wounds.
Tournaments.
Ravishments.
Raptures.
Our gentleman becomes so caught up in his fantasy that his brains dry out and he loses his mind. Then he has the strangest thought that any lunatic ever had.
I will become a knight errant. I shall forsake my books and sally forth ready to expose myself to terrors of unimagined peril. I shall clad myself in
the rusty and antique armor of a long-dead ancestor.
And search the world in search of wrongs to be righted. Thus will I bring glory to my name and... Oh, but I must choose a name and a title in the style of the heroes of literature. Senor...
Not senor. Don.
Don
Quixote.
Don Quixote. Don Quixote of... Surely not of this meager town.
Of this whole region. Don Quixote de la Mancha.
Don Quixote de la Mancha. Thus will I reflect honor upon my lineage and my homeland. And, according to the books from which I have read, I must choose some lady to be my love. Whom shall I select?
Whom is most worthy of adoration?
A young maiden from the neighboring town of El Toboso, Aldonza Corchuelo.
Sue! Here, Peggy. Here, Peggy.
Damsel with whom I was once in love.
Name her something sweet.
I shall call her Dulcinea del Toboso.
Then he goes to his bone-lean, sway-backed horse.
His celebrated steed.
What are you doing?
Rocinante was feeling a little bit, hoarse.
No, that has been done 800 times and then 1,000 times again, and we are not doing it again. It's cliche and just... No. Just go.
course. His celebrated steed.
Whose hooves have more cracks than his master's brain pan.
I shall call you Rocinante.
Rocinante means the nag that goes before. Thus, our gentleman's horse will be the foremost nag in all the land.
Ha!
Episodio numero uno. Don Quixote's first sally from his habitation. Deeply imbued as he is with the ornate styles used in his antiquated books of chivalry, Don Quixote evokes the prose of those novels as he travels forward.
Doubtless in future ages when my history is written, it will begin as thus. Scarce had the little painted warblers hailed the arrival of rosy Aurora, when lo, the illustrious Don Quixote, upswinging from his tranquil couch, commences, oh! I'm assaulted by a dreadful thought. Until I have been duly knighted, I can neither challenge an antagonist of high degree nor enter any tournament.
But what does he see by the road?
Oh, a castle! Oh, and is the Lord Master himself come out to greet me? Oh, gentle prince, never was a man so honored.
Do you seek lodging?
Armor is my shelter.
Perhaps some food?
My nourishment is the fray. I do ask, however, that special care be given to my mount, Rocinante.
That nag.
Why, a more elegant piece of horse flesh never chewed an oat.
Sin Duda.
I humbly beg your lordship to grant me one favor.
Quixote.
Never will I rise from this suppliant posture, thrice valiant knight, until you assure me that this boon shall be granted.
Senor.
I entreat you to make me a knight, that I may traverse the world, redressing wrongs and delivering solace to the needy.
What?
In my books it was common practice for one knight to dub another. Shall we adjourn to the castle chapel for the ceremony?
Chapel? It's, closed for renovations. I do, however, have other rooms in the, castle. First I must ask, do you carry cash?
Not a real.
Back down on your knees.
Right here now?
Any place will do for this. It's the smacks on the back, for that matter. As well as whacks on the shoulder.
Oh.
And one swift kick. There. You're a knight.
Gracias, senor. In my boundless gratitude, I offer my services to you in anything that you command.
Carry cash.
I've never read in all the histories of chivalry that any knight errant drove himself with such an encumbrance.
Well, the writers can't mention every single item a traveler needs. Cash, food, water, cash, medicine, clean underwear, cash, and a servant to carry your baggage and to take care of that cash.
Heaven preserve your worship. I will follow your advice in every particular.
Dante.
Don Quixote
Oh.
takes refuge in his usual remedy. He thinks about his books and...
Dulcinea. Oh, Dulcinea, where art thou, lady of my heart, so heedless of my misery? In El Toboso there thou art, while I suffer here for thee. Oh.
But before our gentleman can commence another verse, it just so happens that two of his fellow townsmen come upon the scene. Madre Perez, the village nun,
who is a graduate of university, of a minor university, but is a woman of some learning nonetheless,
and Nicolas.
the bard. Bless us, our neighbor Alonso Quijada is here.
Has something happened?
Oh, I lie here injured in the field.
Where have you been?
Noble Martina de Mantua. Where have I not been?
No, I'm Madre Perez, the village curate. Your confessor?
You hurt?
Valiant Don Rodrigo de Narvaez. My whole body throbs with one continuous bruise.
I'm Nicholas, the barber. I'm your barber.
Occasioned by a fearful engagement with giants.
Giants!
Si, gigantes enormes, 10 or 30 mighty of the most insolent giants upon the face of the earth.
Tell us, Signor, do you know who you are?
Of course. I know very well who I am.
And so, as night falls, they return to the village.
Uncle,
Open the gates and carry me to bed. Search out the great enchantress Urganda so that she may administer to these hurts which I have acquired through no fault of my own.
Oh, your enchantress can go to the devil. Curse those books 1,000.
Books? By the sign of the cross, I perceive that one of the finest minds in all of La Mancha has been perverted by an extravagance of reading.
my uncle does frequently read these books, 2 days and nights together.
And then he takes one book, throws it on the ground, pulls out his sword, and attacks the very wall.
Yes. These books are detrimental to the nation. They are so stuffed with improbable nonsense. They must be banished, like unproductive people, from the Christian nations.
Madre, sprinkle them with holy water.
No! There is no remedy here but excommunication.
Ooh.
Excommunication of these books of chivalry. Yes, we will try them each in order and condemn the guilty to the flames. Blessed be the function of my faith.
Episodio numero 2 of the profound scrutiny of our gentleman's library.
The 4 volumes of Amadis of Gaul.
The first book of chivalry to be printed in Spain, condemned.
The exploits of Esplandian, son of Gaul.
Nicholas, the sins of the father, condemn the son. He shall burn.
The Mirror of Chivalry.
It is a translation from the Italian, and all translations just want the energy of the originals. Condemned.
The Glorious Adventures of Don Elevante Dolor.
The reason for my unreason turns so my reason. That weakens thy reason, that turns thy reason of beauty. Burn it!
The Galatea by Miguel Cervantes.
Burn it! No, burn it!
No! It's not a book of chivalry.
But you need burn it.
It's pastoral romance.
What? There's some fine invention in here.
And the second part is promised by the author.
Keep it, but confine it in your own quarters.
And so, our inquisitors make their judgments, condemning all those 18 sinners to
The purging bonfire!
Don Quixote wakes from his slumbers and goes to visit his beloved library.
Where are my books? Housekeeper, what mischief is this?
Books? There are books?
Not in this house.
Where are my books?
The devil took them.
Not the devil, surely!
It's devil. Was it by chance a magician?
See, was a magician.
He flew on a dragon,
And he disappeared in a cloud of smoke.
shouting his name.
Mungatom.
You must have said thrust on.
He could have said Faston. All I know is that it ended in dog.
So it must be my great enemy.
And all the books are gone.
Fraston, the dreaded enchanter. Through the mysteries of his art, he knows that one day I shall vanquish the knight whom he favors. And so he endeavors to thwart me. I must sally forth!
But first, following the sage advice of the landlord, we must acquire some money.
I shall discreetly mortgage one thing here, and pawn another there.
You need a servant,
I should make overtures to a peasant neighbor.
a good woman with a small brain. What terrible clothing. Squire Sancho Panza.
Who, me?
Of course. For it is the privilege of all knights errant to have a squire all to themselves such as you, one with no small gain to themselves, but all for their knight errant.
Well, in that case, senor, muy bien.
And Squire Sancho Panza bestrides her celebrated ass, Ruscio.
Do you intend to mount that animal?
That animal? Why, senor? This is my donkey Ruscio, and he is the best donkey in the land. Oh, yes, he is. He's such a good donkey. Oh. And, I'm not meant to travel on foot.
I shall allow it on this occasion, because I shall find you a more honorable carriage by dismounting the first discourteous knight we meet. For it is the privilege of knights errant and their squires to enrich themselves with the spoils of combat.
Spoils of combat?
And, Sancho, you must know that it was an established custom among knight errants to provide their squires with the government of lands, islands or kingdoms which they might happen to conquer during their wanderings.
Me? Govern an island? Oh, senor, it's true what they say. Travel with the great ones, and you'll become a great one.
I have no doubt about that, Sancho. Now, Sancho! Rocinante! My horse is fetch my... Oh. Sancho, you have so much to learn yet. Ha!
And so, without so much as taking leave of friends or family, our knight and his squire depart.
The knight upon his steed.
And the squire upon her excellent ass.
Then I was born by the will of heaven into this age of iron to revive the age of gold.
Estimados caballeros y damas, Don Quixote de la Mancha y Sancho Panza. Episodio número 3. A herefore totally unimagined adventure involving the great Don Quixote. They travel hard until...
Aye, Sancho, good fortune greets us.
Where?
Look yonder.
Over there?
Chance has conducted our affairs even better than we could have wished. Giants.
Giants?
Si, gigantes, gigantes enormes. 10 of the most insolent giants that you have ever seen up until this point.
Senor, those are windmills.
I shall wage good war upon them.
Senor?
And when I have slain them all, you may enrich yourself with the spoils. Can't you see, Sancho? They're giants! Their arms must be 2 leagues long!
Those are the sails.
You know little, Sancho, of the ways of adventure. Rocinante! Adelante! Oh! What insolent giants flaunting their many arms in me? Dulcinea del Toboso, come to the aid of my knight! Ah!
Senor?
Oh! This must be the work of my dreaded enemy, Freston.
Who?
Yes, the dreaded enchanter. He knew that I would be here today, and so he converted those giants into windmills in order to rob me of the glory of defeating them. Such is the hatred he bears me. But, rest assured, all of his treacherous art shall one day fall before the power of my virtuous sword. Ow!
Oh, senor, are you in pain?
It is not the custom for knights errant to complain about any wound, even if their stomachs, intestines, or bowels spill out because of it.
Senor, you can complain all you want. I do about every little ache and pain. Speaking of which, senor, I'm hungry.
I feel no need for food at the moment, Sancho. However, you may go to the victuals if you please.
Riding behind my master, I take sips from the wineskin. Oh, this is the life. Seeking adventures is a pleasure. I don't even care how dangerous it is.
We shall plunge our hands elbow deep into this thing called adventure. But be advised, Sancho. Under the laws of chivalry, you must not come to the assistance of me until you are dubbed a knight. Even if you see me in the greatest danger, you must by no means lay your hand upon your sword to defend me.
But, senor, do these laws of chivalry
Allow me to protect myself?
Well, of course, but in the affair of assisting me against knights, you must keep your natural impetuosity in check. Onward, Sancho!
Episodio numero 4, wherein the valiant man from the Mancha encounters the daring Basque and sundry other travelers. As Don Quixote and Sancho Panza continue along their way, they come upon an entourage consisting of a
daring Basque man.
who escorts
Beautiful Basque lady.
who is traveling from.
Bilbia to Sevilla to join husband.
Her husband is.
About to embark for Indies where important business awaits him.
In addition, there are.
2 Benedictine monks.
Oh, yes, of course. 2 Benedictine monks.
The Benedictine monks
Although they travel the same road as the Basques.
are not part of the Basque company. After the monks come, their servants.
Sancho! Those black apparitions on the road. Doubtless they are evil enchanters. And see, they keep captive with them a helpless princess. Either I am deceived, or this could be my most famous confrontation yet.
Are deceived, senor. They are only monks and travelers.
I must undo this wrong. Step aside, Sancho. You know little in the ways of adventure. Watch, and you will see.
Ay, Dios mío, this will be worse than the windmills.
Ha! Monstrous and diabolical creatures! Unhand that noble princess, whom you unlawfully imprisoned, or prepare to receive immediate death.
Bless us, senor. We know nothing of a noble princess.
We are innocent monks of the order of St. Benedict.
Ah! Enough fawning speeches, you perfidious rabble! Rocinante! Adelante! Yeah. Sancho, the spoils are yours!
Why are you stripping her?
Her clothes are mine. They are the spoils that my master Don Quixote has won in battle.
The
servants.
who have no sense of humor.
And who know nothing of spoils and battles.
Attack her!
What do you mean? Senor, help me! I don't like this!
Oh, beauteous lady, you may now dispose of your own person according to your good pleasure, for your ravishers are vanquished by this my mighty arm.
Who are you?
The champion of the unparalleled Donna Dulcinea del Toboso, Don Quixote de la Mancha.
Mucho gusto, senor.
And for the service that I have rendered to you today, my only request is that you travel to the town of El Toboso. Present yourself to the lady of my soul and describe to her what I have done to set you free.
Alas, I must decline amusing proposal.
But my lady must hear of my courageous act. To El Toboso!
I will El Toboso you. Now, get off me. Go on. I kill you.
The tenets of knight errantry preclude my engaging you in single combat, as you are but a servant. You are not a gentleman, and thus not my equal.
I? Not a gentleman? You lie in throat. As I am Basque, I am gentleman. Gentleman at sea, gentleman at land. Always a Basque, always a gentleman. Now, draw sword.
Donna Dulcinea del Toboso, come to the end of thy night! Ah! 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 Oh.
The keen-edged blades of the combatants threaten heaven, earth, and hell itself. The enraged Basque strikes with fury. His sword falls on Quixote's shoulder, but it does no damage.
Ow!
Other than slice off half his ear. Quixote strikes.
Oh!
The Basque is down. The Basque is down. The Basque is down.
Surrender, or I cut off your head.
Alas, I implore, spare the life of attendant.
I will do as you ask, but with the proviso that this servant of yours travel to the town of El Toboso and present himself to the lady of my soul, so that she may use him according to her good pleasure.
He shall do that.
Then, with the understanding that he will do so, I will leave him be, and do him no more harm, though he richly deserves it.
My lady, where we go?
Hayate.
Ah, Sancho, have you ever read in all the histories of chivalry of a knight who possesses more dexterity? Have you ever read of one being more valiant than I am? Have you ever read of one who possesses more courage, more perseverance?
No, I cannot read or write.
Senor, I must ask you a question. After winning such a noble battle, would now be the time to bestow upon me an island I'm so sure you have won?
Listen, Sancho, you must learn that adventures as these are little more than roadside brawls, not ones worthy of islands. What little more is gained but a broken head, ow, or a missing ear.
You should procure a helmet.
I shall remove a helmet off the first discourteous knight we meet, much as the blue-eyed Reynaldo's damn intelligence seized from the fierce Moorish king, Mambrino.
Episodio numero 5. Of an exalted adventure. It just so happens that traveling along the same road as Don Quixote and Sancho Panza, there walks a man. He's an itinerant barber. He wears a hat. A new hat.
Our towns hereabouts are so poor, we have neither shops nor taverns. So, whenever a cheek is to be shaved or a head is to be trimmed, I must traipse from one village to another, carrying with me the apparatuses of my trade.
As chance would have it, the rain starts to fall.
No, my hat! My new hat!
Utilize your basin.
My basin?
Your barber's basin.
How?
To provide protection for your hat. Just put it on.
Oh, yes, of course. My hat. My new hat.
Gracias. Muchas gracias.
Sancho, if I am not egregiously mistaken, a person stands before us who wears upon his head the magical golden helmet of Mambrino. Sancho, the one from earlier, Mambrino.
Oh.
Ah, our path is blocked by a most shameless fellow, one who dares to wear upon his helm the golden helmet that the blue-eyed Reynaldo's de Montalban seized in his battle, his bloody duel with the fierce Moorish king. I must have it.
Senor, may I offer a word of advice before you go off?
If the stone hits the jar, or if the jar hits the stone, either way, it's bad for the jar.
Right. Aha! Defend yourself, wretched caitiff, or voluntarily yield up what is due to a Christian knight.
My hat!
And so once more virtue triumphs. Hand me the cask, Sancho, which I have liberated from the grasp of a most unworthy opponent. Oh, it's quite capacious. No doubt the infidel for whom it was first forged had an extraordinarily large head. Why are you laughing?
Well, senor, I only laugh because the thought of an infidel with a head so large that it required a helmet the size of a barber's basin is quite funny.
That may be so. For it may have happened that by some strange accident, the magical helmet of Mambrino fell into the hands of one who did not recognize its importance. But this individual, seeing that it had to be made of the purest gold, had it melted down and then made into a barber's basin, just as you so correctly observed, Sancho. But I recognize its true identity, and I will thus wear it in such a manner. Ow!
Oh, senor, that ear looks quite bad.
Oh, we must find some palace where a lady of high rank can attend to these wounds. Oh.
Palace?
Avanzamos, Sancho, to the high road!
Episodio numero 6. What happens to our knight and seconded? Our friends travel no more than a short league when good fortune seems to take management of their affairs.
A palace.
It's It's an inn.
Oh, clearly, Sancho, it's a palace.
The landlady, being naturally charitable and sympathetic to all her fellow creatures, comes running with her pretty young daughter and her serving girl. Maritornes!
Maritornes, a name which could imply badly turned out.
Who is that man?
He is Don Quixote de la Mancha.
What is he?
He is a knight-errant.
I've been knights errant for years.
Oh, fair ladies, you may account yourself fortunate to have me as a guest. I must not praise myself. It is self-demeaning.
Husband, he is a creature of a different species. We must take good care of him.
There's no chamber ready. Carry him to the hayloft to make a place for him near the cot of that mule driver, Peter Martinez. And you're who?
His squire, Sancho Panza. But with my master's conquest, I am soon to become Lord Governor Sancho Panza.
Governor? Without a doubt.
Well, he's very badly bruised.
What happened to his poor ear?
He fell. What's a knight-errant? Why, a knight-errant is someone who is beaten up by the side of the road one day and becomes an emperor the very next.
One would think, Signora Gobernadora Panza, that as you are so closely connected to such a great man, that you would be a count or a duke at least.
Oh, too soon, my lady. Our adventures have only just begun. But why don't we leave my master to his dreams? And in the meantime, see what your delightful kitchen has to offer.
Of course, Signora Gobernadora. We'd be honored to have you at our table. Venga.
Maritornes?
What do I now remember?
Maritornes.
Ah, Maritornes, the beauteous niece of the lord of this famous palace. How quickly my manly appearance enraptured her. And she swore to come to me and spend the best part of the night in my bed.
Whereas, in actuality, the serving wench our gentleman mistakes for a goddess of beauty has in fact arranged an assignation with the mule driver.
Who crawls to his cot to await the trusty Maritornes.
Night falls, and the entire inn is dark and silent. Unfortunately, the one good eye of Maritornes is not very good at all. Pedro, psst.
Lovely and exalted lady, you have kept your word.
I always do.
Would to heaven I were able to repay the transcendent favor you offer me.
Un favor?
But no, no, kind maiden.
Que dice?
My pleasure, faith, to the peerless Dulcinea stands in my way.
Como?
No, lady, that if our situations able to mesh, my inclinations would most gladly comply with yours.
Socorro, Pedro!
Hey, you!
What?
Get away from me!
Oh, you smell like donkeys!
Wife! Daughter! Keep the peace! And you Maritornes. This is a respectable house under the law.
This evening's entertainment being thus fulfilled, the landlord and his wife and child,
Retire to beds in their chambers.
the serving wench,
Slinks to her pallet in the kitchen.
the mule driver,
Retreats to his cot.
and the knight and his squire,
Oh, remain where they are. Oh,
Unable to move.
oh. Sancho, friend, are you asleep?
No, senor. I cannot sleep. I have been bruised from today's beatings.
Oh, Sancho, Just a brief while ago, I was visited by the most elegant damsel meritorious. How can I describe the comeliness of her dainty person, the liveliness of her nimble wit, the celestial sweetness of her soft and pale? But no! Ledge of faith to the peerless Dulcinea del Toboso stands in my way. No, Sancho, that just as the lady and I were about to engage in a most amorous discourse, there came a great battle cry, and the clarions sound, the drums beat, and the lady fled into the night. Sancho, some enchanted Moor must be guarding the treasure of this virgin beauty, and so I must conjecture it is not meant for me.
Nor for me either.
I long to be once again in quest of heroic encounters, Sancho. Every minute we spend in this place is another. The world is deprived of my fervor and of my protection. Come, Sancho!
Oh, salve, Senor Knight, or whatever you call yourself.
Honorable host, after much rest we are ready to drive out, to chastise the false and to assist the needy. But be advised,
Just pay the bill.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh!
Ah.
Oh! We seem to be under a bit of a misapprehension. You see, we thought this was a palace, not a public house. Senor Publican, you have nothing to do but spare us from paying this account. Now what? It's established custom that knight errants shall not pay for food, nor for lodging, nor for anything else.
Mierda! Pay up!
You, sir, are a malicious keeper of an inn, and a scoundrel. What the... That's what I have to say. Run, Sancho, run!
Don Quixote leaves Sancho Panza at the mercy of...
The landlord. No talk of knights. Pay up!
Senor Landlord, you must understand. I am but a squire. I am bound by the same rules as my master. You cannot expect me to pay this account.
Bobo, you won't make it's gonna happen.
It just so happens that lodging at the inn are 4 good fellows who love a joke.
A tailor from Seville.
A wool cutter from Segovia.
The mule driver from Asturias.
And the master maker of cutlery from Cordoba. Aha! I have a blanket.
What? To it, hombres, with this one in it.
Oh, no! Senor!
Sancho! Come, Sancho, hurry! You're falling behind! We must go!
Why did you abandon me?
Well, this place is surely under a spell, Sancho.
Those men, they threw me in a blanket and they kicked me and they beat me and...
Those who beat you must be none other than phantoms, belonging to the nefarious Freston.
They were not phantoms, they were common men like you or I.
Sancho, when will you learn that with great patience you will learn of the rewards which come with pursuing our vocation? Now, come, Sancho, we must continue into the Sierra Morena.
Episodio numero 8, in which is related a most rare adventure.
Oh, Sancho, good fortune greets us once more. Look yonder.
On the horizon?
See, 2 tremendous armies come to face each other on this vast plain.
I don't think I can see them.
Do you know what we must do, Sancho?
What?
Assist that side which is weak.
Which side is that?
You must know, Sancho, that over there is the dreaded Emperor Alifinfarin. And so see, over there, his sworn enemy, Pentapolin, young king of the Garamantians. Oh, and see, in the distance, Sancho. Can you not see them?
I can't, the dust is too thick.
In the larger army, the ever-conquering, never-vanquished Prince of Nueva Vizcaya, the cruel Timonel de Carajonia.
I can't see anything. I don't even hear these armies.
How can you not hear them? The clarions sound, the drums beat, the horses neigh!
I only hear sheep.
Turn upon your senses, Sancho. You may retire. I myself am alone to ensure victory. Donna Dulcinea del Toboso, protect thy knight! On guard!
Leading their flock, beg our hero to forbear.
Take that! And that! saludo.
I greet you with a fist.
Oh! What? Oh! 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 Ow! Oh! Oh! No, not that! Oh!
Is he dead?
I think so. Crazy old man.
He killed our sheep, 6 of them.
Taste.
Gather up your flocks and go.
Senor.
Oh! Literally, Sancho, this is once again the work of my mortal enemy, Freston! Yes, Sancho, he knew I would be out on these fields today, and so he converted squadrons of highborn knights into flocks of lowly sheep. Oh, it makes perfect sense. Sancho, before we continue, I have the most important question I have ever asked you. Come closer. Tell me, how many teeth have I lost?
Senor, how many teeth did you have on this side before?
Hey!
Well, you're down to 1.5.
Oh, Santa Maria, my poor molars! I would rather have lost an arm, Sancho. Oh, Sancho, a mouth without molars is like a mill without a millstone. Oh, what cruel deprivation has been done to me today.
I shall call you a caballero de la triste figura, for now you are the very picture of misery. I too have known misery. I too have been enslaved. Now it is I who write this history of Don Quixote, so that he too must suffer. What else would you expect of a child forgotten in suffering?
What can make my pain diminish?
Only madness,
Who then will improve my fate?
death.
Sancho, we are once again in pursuit of adventure. Come, we must enter the mountain pass.
Episodio numero 8. Of what Don Quixote undertakes in the Sierra Morena, being one of the most mysterious adventures yet.
Regard these barren slopes, Sancho. Dismount first. Sancho, take my horse. This desolate landscape fills my heart with joy, for it is here that I am about to perform a glorious feat.
Is it dangerous?
Sancho, you are by nature a coward.
A coward?
And, in addition, you are a bad Christian.
A bad Christian?
One should forget an injury once it has been done to them.
Forgive an injury?
Sancho, noble minds forget such trifles.
Forget? How can I forget that I was thrown into a blanket and beaten and kicked and you didn't even help and let it pass.
There we go. Now, Sancho, I shall venture out on into the wilderness and play the part of one who is desperate. A fool, a madman, because scorned by a lady's love.
What lady has scorned you?
Oh, none. But a knight shall have no glory if he goes mad for a reason. The greater achievement is to lose one's reason for no reason. Mad I am, and mad I shall remain.
Forever?
Until you return with a favorable reply to a letter that I shall send with you to my lady Dulcinea.
And should I return with an unfavorable reply?
Then I will truly go mad and feel nothing at all. But Sancho, it is time to the letter. Oh, Sancho, I love her more than the light of these eyes that are consumed by the earth. Our love is platonic, never strained beyond a chaste glance. I have not even seen her more than 4 times. Such is the seclusion that she is kept in by her father, Lorenzo Corchuelo.
Lorenzo Corchuelo?
Lorenzo Corchuelo!
The Lady Dulcinea's father is Lorenzo Corchuelo.
Sancho, I've said this twice now.
So you mean to say that Lady Dulcinea is Aldonza Corchuelo?
Yes.
Aldonza Corchuelo. Oh, she's a sturdy girl, that one. And her voice, sweet, piggy, piggy. best salted pork in the district. You know what I mean? And, here I am, thinking that this Lady Dulcinea is some beautiful princess you have fallen in love with. And yet, Aldonza Corchfellow, you know, Senora, this works out for you. I mean, Aldonza isn't shy. In fact, rumor has it she's a bit of a slut.
What? You know nothing! Your wits are dull! It is enough that I think that the Lady Dulcinea is beautiful, that she is virtuous. I depict her in my imagination as I intend her to be, and I envision her as being the highest princess on earth. I imagine that everything that I say is true, Sancho, no more and no less.
Forgive me, Senora, I am an ass. And with your blessing, I will take that letter to El Toboso.
First, Sancho, in order for you to truthfully swear that you have witnessed my lunacy, you must see me perform 1 or 2 dozen more fantastical acts.
Such as...
Of course, Sancho! Isn't it obvious?
No, it's not.
I must strip naked! What? No! And then after I strip naked, I should bash my head on your ass! Easy, Sancho! Aha!
Oh...
Episodio numero 9. Of what Sancho Panza, Madre Perez, and Nicolas undertake in the Sierra Morena. Let us discover what transpires as Sancho Panza travels along the road to El Toboso.
Nicholas, look. It is another traveler on this forsaken road.
Isn't that our townsman, Sancho Panza?
Yes, and with her it is the horse of Alonso Quixote.
Sancho!
Friend Sancho!
Oh, Madre Perez, Senor Nicholas!
Sancho, where is your master?
Oh, I can't tell you.
No, Sancho. If you refuse to tell us, we'll be forced to believe you murdered him, robbed him, and taken his horse.
No, I would never murder or rob anybody. Oh, Senor Nicholas, you must understand, my master has gone crazy. He roams these mountainsides like a madman, pining for this Lady Dulcinea he is in love with. But you must understand, she is Aldonza Corchfellow from El Toboso. Send me a little letter to give to her.
Well, we must read this letter.
I don't have it.
What do you...
There goes my island.
Your what?
Don Quixote has promised me the governorship of an island.
A governship?
She's been sucked into her master's madness. Friend Sancho, we want to help you. Bring your master to us, and Nicholas and I shall entice him home.
How?
We must come up with a plan. Yes. No, that's... I have it! Yes, I will dress in the clothes of a squire, and Nicholas in the clothes of a wandering maiden.
Why do I have to wear the dress?
It would be improper for a nun to be in a gown.
All right, well, continue.
Yes, we will entice him to a house. No, a castle. And there we will rectify an egregious effort to affront the maiden.
Who's actually a princess in distress?
Yes, precisely. But in reality, we'll just be conducting him to his own habitation.
You two are both as crazy as my master.
Vaya, Sancho Panza.
Do you hear that?
That is no human creature!
You're right, it's an angel.
I come from Andalusia and I am called Dorotea.
Dorotea. Dorotea, la dancella hermosa. Dorotea, the most quick-witted, graceful, and spirited maiden in this entire history. Her intelligence is only rivaled by her exquisite beauty. Time, alas, does not permit the telling of her intriguing tale. However, permit me to suggest that you purchase a copy of my book, where you may read a full account of her life and loves. For now, let us return to events in the Sierra Morena.
Madre Perez, Senor Nicholas!
Sancho! Who is it that calls?
It's our friend Sancho. The barber briefly describes the madness of the plan of enticing Don Quixote out of the mountains.
clever, signoras, but I'm sure I could play an afflicted maiden better than some barber. I have read many books of chivalry, and I do know a great amount about distressed princesses. In addition, I have the tiara.
Yes, let us put this plan into action.
Senors.
Sancho! Sancho! Sancho, where is your Don Quixote?
Well, I did find him.
Oh.
He was hungry.
Oh no.
Dirty. Naked. Running for the Lady Dulcinea.
Well, where is he now?
Ways behind me. Who is she?
Oh, this, friend Sancho. Well, this is a princess.
Oh, so pleased to meet you.
Sancho, you don't get my armor back on. Sancho, what are you? That lady, please do not kneel.
Never shall I rise, most valiant and invincible knight, until your goodness and benevolence grant a boon to this, the most disconsolate damsel that e'er the sun beheld.
Senor, you can grant this boon easily. She's a princess.
Well, regardless of who she is, I am duty-bound to act according to the dictates of my profession. Now, rise, I grant whatever boon you ask.
Well, first of all, Signor, know that I am Princess of Micomicomia.
Heirs to the kingdom of Micomicon.
And my father, Tino Creo the Sage, a magician, discovered that through his art, he and my mother, Queen Jaramilla, would die. And a monstrous giant...
Named Philando.
Yes, Panda Philando, would learn of my orphan state and invade my kingdom. But my father warned me that in order to avoid complete destruction, I must find a certain knight-errant, one whose fame extends throughout the lands. A knight named...
Don Quixote! Is his name Don Quixote?
Yes, a knight named Don Quixote.
And I am he, Don Quixote, el caballero de la triste figura of vuestros órdenes.
He hates giants. So much.
Yes, and my good father also prophesies that after chopping off the head of Panda Philando, the knight-errant, El Caballero de la Triste Figuera, would marry me, and I would become his queen.
Oh, fair maiden, I shall travel to the kingdom from which you reign, remove your adversary of his head, and return you to the throne. However, my heart is enslaved to my lady Dulcinea.
Senor, may I speak with you for a moment? Excuse us. Senor, let me make this simple for you. This is what you should do. Go with the princess, behead the giant, return the princess to the throne, marry the princess, become king, make me governor of something, and forget about the Lady Dulcinea.
Base villain, how dare you wag your tongue against me?
Also, my lord Don Quixote!
You dare to wag your tongue against the peerless Dulcinea? She inspires me. My arm is her instrument. In me she fights, and through her I live. You coward. You see yourself raised from the dust to be a lord, and you respond with ingratitude to your benefactress?
Senor, I meant no ingratitude towards Lady Dulcinea. All I meant was that you could marry the princess and keep the Lady Dulcinea on the side. Tons of knights do it. Besides, this princess is just as, if not more beautiful than the Lady Dulcinea.
Wait, so you've seen my lady Dulcinea?
See, I have.
And what does she say? Does she have any commands, any replies, any not favorable reply, not a favorable reply, a bow, a command? Just tell me, Sancho!
Senor, she commands that you stop with the dangerous adventures and return to Altabosa to see her.
Oh, Sancho, what am I to do then? My lady commands me to return, but I am obliged to help this princess. I shall go to where this lady reigns, cut the head off the giant, return her to the throne, and...
Marry her?
No, Sancho, I can easily grant you favors without marrying this woman. And once I return, know that I will be providing you with an island of your own.
An island of my own?
Cease, Sancho. Now, we must go in the name of God to the assistance of this unborn lady.
of what happened to our knight and his friends at the inn. Our friends travel on together without any incident worth mentioning until they arrive at an inn, which happens to be the inn from episode 6.
Back again?
Honorable host, after countless heroic adventures, we have returned to partake of your unique hospitality.
We welcome you and your friend.
My only request is that you provide me with a bed a tad more commodious than that of my previous stay.
You repose like a prince, Sir Knight.
Provided you pay.
Signoras, you have my pledge that you'll be more than satisfied.
The execution of the elegant lady will pay well. Then the Lord welcomes them all. Bienvenidos.
Would you like to join us at table for some sweet pudding made with the freshest of curds?
Un placer.
The Honorable Señora Gobernadora Panza.
Bueno, señora, bueno.
Husband, I think such distinguished company calls for our best wine.
What's in the hayloft?
Up in the hayloft, Don Quixote dreams that he enters the kingdom of Micomicon, wherein he encounters the giant Pandafilando.
Still you are! No such monster as you can escape my stroke! Monster, the blade of your scheme, and shall not avail you here! Attack! 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 Villain, I watch you die, and I sever your bloody head from your body!
You destroyed my wineskin! My best wine! Gone!
Senores! Stop this! Stop this now!
Sit down, husband. First of all.
Pay up and go! He's done enough damage. I want him out of here! Wife, daughter, basta con frente!
We must get our townsman home before he kills someone.
Or before somebody kills him.
Yes. Let us return to La Mancha.
I am a poor woman, and I do not owe anything to anyone. Each man is the child of his own actions, but as for the madness of my master Don Quixote, only God knows.
When Don Quixote and Sancho Panza return to his village, he is put to bed and cared for. Dear reader, you may be asking yourself, does he sally forth again? Are there more adventures? And what of Sancho Panza? Will she ever become a governor? Well, we shall see. Valene Dios. How impatiently you must have been waiting for this continuation, illustrious readers. You may be asking yourself, why is it taking so long to write? 10 years. To which I say to you, dear readers, I suppose you think it is an easy matter to write a book? I now ask you to consider the second part of Don Quixote. It is cut from the same cloth as the first, by the same artisan. Only this time, Don Quixote faces a new journey, far more dangerous than even he could imagine. Comencemos! As we begin the second part of our history, we find that Madre Perez and Nicolas
has not visited Juan Soquiara from years.
Well, we don't want to excite his imagination by bringing up the past.
They do, however, frequently visit the housekeeper and the niece.
I assure you, we are pampering my uncle with great care and tenderness.
To bring him back to his house,
I exposed over 600 eggs. My uncle does seem to be in his right mind from time to time.
Excellent. Well, we shall continue our diligence by never, ever bringing up night errantry. Ever again.
Senor Quixote! Senor Don Quixote! I have a new sword for you!
What do you want?
Have you seen my master Don Quixote? I have brought him a new sword.
You lured my uncle from his home to wander the highways.
you turned my poor master's blade.
Housekeeper from hell, he turned my brain.
Nicholas, mark my words. When we least expect it, our gentleman, he'll try to make another sally when we least expect it.
No doubt.
Son Carrasco, why, you returned to your
I
studies.
have a bachelor's degree
Felicia.
from the University of Salamanca.
A major university.
Senors, I have come to meet with the famous Don Quixote de la Mancha.
You know about this Don Quixote?
Yes, I've read the book.
There's a book.
Yes, it's a very famous chronicle.
Are we in it?
Quite prominently. It's especially amusing when you two...
To the purpose, perhaps?
Yes, senors, I have come to help.
With what?
Devising some measures to keep Don Quixote peacefully at home, undisturbed by ill-fated adventures.
Go on.
First, it is impossible to prevent Don Quixote's leaving again, therefore we must allow him to go.
What? No. Dios míos. Impossible.
Hear my plan.
No.
First, I convince him to go out for a third time. I myself, disguised as a fellow knight-errant of yore, meet him on the road, engage in combat with him, and vanquish him.
Well, that shouldn't be difficult.
Precisely. Following the rules of chivalry, he will be at my mercy. I order him to return home, and never draw sword again. I even have a squire to accompany me. Tome!
At your service, Senor Carrasco. Pardon, Senor Knight Carrasco.
Un momento, son, but aren't you a neighbor of, Sancho Panza?
Oh, si, Madapres.
Well, then she will surely recognize you.
No.
No, Senor. She will never know me. I have this.
Let us review this plan one more time.
Sancho! What are the people in the village saying about me? What do they recall of my deeds, my valor?
Senor, they ridicule you. They think it is ridiculous that you should have the title Don in front of your name when all you own are a couple of empty fields. But there is someone here to explain everything to you. Sanson Carrasco.
Where's this Samson Carrasco?
I'll bring him to you. Just a moment.
Surely this author of my history must be some wise enchanter. Allow me to shake your puissant hand, Senor Don Quixote. Your worship is one of the most celebrated knight-errants that ever existed within the circumference of this globe. Blessings upon Miguel de Cervantes, who wrote down your history for the universal entertainment of all mankind. So it's true, my history exists. I believe there are already several thousand copies in print today.
12.
12,000 copies in print today.
Oh, is it well received?
I believe there is not one lord's antechamber in which one does not find a copy of Don Quixote. As soon as it is put down by one reader, it is picked up by another.
What do the critics say?
Critics! Who needs them? Men and women celebrated for their genius are often envied by those whose particular amusement consists of judging the works of others, though they themselves have never brought anything into the light of day. Furthermore, there is no book so bad that something good cannot be found within it. Critics.
Which of my deeds are most praised?
Well, now that depends on the reader. Some prefer The fight with the windmills. The two armies that turned out to be sheep. Or the fight with the valiant Basque. Nothing escapes the pen of Cervantes, not even the dancing Sancho does in the blanket.
I never danced in any blanket.
Cállate, Sancho! What more is said about me?
Or me?
Some would rather hear you speak than the principal character.
Really?
Some can't believe how gullible you are.
Gullible?
You really believe that Don Quixote will grant you governorship of an island?
Senor, what is he saying?
Si Dios quiere, it will be all right. Yes, if it is also God's will, Sancho, you'll not only have islands to govern, but whole kingdoms.
Kingdoms? And islands? Oh, I am strong and healthy enough to govern them all.
But be careful, Sancho. Often, positions of power may change a person.
Sancho, I was born. Sancho, I will remain.
We shall see in the second part. So the author promises the second part. Oh, yes, but second parts are never very good. Some say the first was long enough. Tell me, what does this
Cervantes.
Cervantes, the Cervantes, what do they say? Well, she is more interested in earning money than praise.
She will publish soon.
Now, senor, if you ask me, you should supply Cervantes.
Ah, yes!
With another adventure to write about. In fact, you should go on even more adventures after that. So she can write 100 more parts to go with it.
No sooner do these words leave Sancho's mouth than the sound of Rocinante salutes their ears.
Oh, what a great omen this is! Oh, come, Sancho, we must go on pursuit of heroic adventures once more! Senor Bachelor, where do you propose we go? I recommend the
Barcelona.
city of Barcelona. In a few days it will be Midsummer Night's Eve and the festival of San Juan. Well, there may be jousts. The most celebrated knights in the kingdom could be there. Knights whom I could vanquish.
Oh.
It is determined then. But, Senor Bachelor, I trust you will keep this plan a secret. Lord. Buena fortuna, adios. Then it is determined, Sancho, to Barcelona! Which way is Barcelona? It's... Oh, come, Sancho, to Barcelona! Well, that was easy. Now, you may be famous for creating Don Quixote, but I'm famous for curing him.
Gracias a Dios, Don Quixote and Sancho Panza are once again on the road. Rest assured, dear readers, that from this point forward, the adventures begin. They travel until they see El Toboso.
El Toboso. Before we continue onwards, Sancho, you must first travel to the palace of my lady Dulcinea, so that I may receive her blessing and her approval.
Palace?
Well, obviously, when you spoke with her of my actions in the Sierra Morena, you spoke with her in her regal mansion.
Mansion?
I await here while you seek out yon great mistress.
Oh no. I'm caught up in my own lie. I never went to El Toboso. The saying is true. Show me who your friends are and I'll show you who you are. I've gone as crazy as my master. Whatever will I do?
Venga, moza.
Wait a minute. My master often mistakes one thing for another. Windmills for giants, sheep for armies. So if I tell him that some country wench is the Lady Dulcinea, he'll have to believe me. Aha! The rabbit jumps when the hunter least expects it. Senor Quixote! The lady is here to greet us.
Santa Maria! Come, let us greet the fair maidens! Sancho, was there a chance that we had missed the noble ladies?
No. The Lady Dulcinea and her two ladies in waiting, shine right before you, like the sun at noon.
I see nothing but 3 farm girls, Sancho.
Don't you have any words for the lady of your respects?
Sancho, I see nothing but 3 flat-nosed, peasant-faced farm girls who exude an overpowering odor of undigested garlic.
Oh, ladies.
Try that somewhere else. Ande, nos vamos. Payones.
Oh, breathtaking ladies of El Toboso!
Again, Sancho, this has to be the work of my enemy, Fresh Dawn. He converted my unparalleled Dulcinea del Toboso into the coarse visage of an oafish farm hussy. Oh, he hates me so. He simply deprives me of the simple benefit of a chaste glance. Oh, how I am, as I've said 1,000 times, Sancho, the most unhappy of men.
And I, Lucio, am the most happy of squires. I fooled my master. Signor, sorrow was made for men, but too much isn't natural. Let the devil take away your pain and trade it for all the Lady Dulcineas in the world.
Quiet, Sancho! Do not speak up against my Lady Dulcinea in such a fashion. I am ashamed of you. I cannot believe that you would even come to comprehend. Ah! What is this?
Beware of death, Signor.
I defy death. Devil or whatever you are, tell me straight, why are you here?
Signor, we're actors. At your command. We performed in the village beyond that rise. Our play is the Congress of Death.
Actors. Since my boyhood, I have loved this histrionic art. This proves, Sancho, that one can learn from more than just mere sight alone. Tell me straight, where are you heading?
We perform in the next town. We travel, you see, vestidos de apuesto, to save ourselves the trouble of changing. This actor plays Death. La muerte. Ooh. This actor, the angel.
El Angeli.
This actor, our knight errant.
El Caballero Andante.
And I, El Diablo. The devil is always the best role.
Beware of the devil, Signor.
Ah, this must be your fool.
I am nobody's fool. Well, but my own.
Excellente. We are in need of a fool. And by your garb, I Signora.
The knight errant.
As am I, La Flor de la Caballeria.
You, sir, are but a player. I am the true knight errant here.
Real knight errants disappeared long ago.
I have been charged by the will of heaven to bring back the glory of ages past.
What are you? Some kind of Don Quixote? Onward! Rocinante! My noble steed! Adelante! For the peerless Lady Dulcinea del Toboso.
He is Don Quixote!
And that must make you
Sancho Panza!
I'm so hungry.
Senor, those are the windmills.
The sheep!
Not away from me! Senores, join us. Everyone's clamoring to see Don Quixote. We get so many requests to see that deranged Don Quixote and his badly dressed star Sancho. We can make a fortune.
Be gone, you rogue! You motivate! You thespians! Ah! Ah! Oh, Sancho, I shall follow that devil into the darkest pits of hell! Come, Sancho, stand! We must pursue them!
Senor! They are only players, without a true knight-errant among them.
I suppose you are right, Sancho. Although that devil actor will never exit to my applause!
Following their encounter with the actors, Don Quixote and Sancho Panza pass the night under a grove of oak trees. They rest, eat their meals, and allow their animals to freely graze. This author greatly admires the deep friendship between these two peaceable animals. It is a shame that mankind, who lives or seems intent on living in such violence, cannot learn to live by their example. But I digress. Let us now return to the stratagems of the bachelor Carrasco, who disguises a caballero de los Apellos, has followed Don Quixote and Sancho Panza to their spot in the woods.
Oh, those beautiful and ungrateful women upon oath.
Quiet, Sancho, listen.
How canst thou, the most serene Castilla de Valandia, doom this thou captive knight to exhausting himself in harsh toils?
Sancho, we have an adventure.
Is it not enough that I have forced all the knights of Leon, Castilla, and finally La Mancha, that you alone are the only beauty in the world?
No, puede ser. I am from La Mancha, and I've never confessed such a thing. This knight is surely demented.
Who's there? Do you count yourself among the happy or the afflicted?
I am one of the afflicted.
Approach then and gaze upon the very essence of affliction. I know what you are, Senor Knight-errant, because only a fellow knight would be in such a place, accompanied only by loneliness and the dews of night.
I am a knight of that profession, and the melancholy and misfortune find habitation in my soul. They are not enough to drive out the compassion I feel for those in pain. And judging from your limitations, I'm judging that your misfortunes are of the amorous kind.
They are. By any chance, Senor Knight, are you in love?
Oh, I am. Although the pain one feels because of unrequited love is better than feeling no pain at all.
Yes, verdad. But the disdain of a lady may lead to thoughts of revenge.
Well, I was never disdained by my lady.
No, never disdained.
I never saw a squire with such a big mouth. There stands my squire, he wouldn't dream of talking without his master's bidding.
I'm the Squire Sancho Panza, and I say whatever I like, whenever I like.
Senor Squire, let's leave our masters to boast about their loves. It'll take them all night. We can talk about squire. Thirsty?
Oh, yes. My tongue is sticking to the roof of my mouth.
I have a good remedy for that.
Oh. Oh, Santa Maria, that is good.
Oh, sister, we intend tonight to live a hard life.
Indeed we do.
The only thing that keeps us going is the thought of reward.
My master has promised me governorship of an island.
Governorship of an island?
See?
Sounds like hard work.
It'll be easy for me.
Salud.
Senor Knight, I have engaged in many dangerous enterprises to express my virtuous desires for Castilla de Valandia. She ordered me to hurl myself into the chasms of Cabra. I did that and discovered what lay there in darkness. She commanded me to challenge the ever-changing gigantus of Seville, La Grialda. I did that and forced that monster to be still. Oh, and then there were the bulls of Guisando.
Senor, I must ask, is your master crazy?
Crazy?
No, he's only a fool. But he's brave. No, he's more of a scoundrel than brave.
Mine's not a scoundrel. He hasn't got an ounce of malice in him, not an ounce.
Even so, if the blind lead the blind, they both fall in the ditch.
But still, she remains aloof. Most recently, she commanded me to compel every knight in the kingdom to confess that she alone is the greatest beauty in the world. I've already conquered every knight that dared contradict me. But what has given me most gratification is conquering the famous knight, Don Quixote, and compelling him to recognize that my lady is more fair than his Dulcinea.
Senor Knight, I say nothing with your having vanquished almost all the knights of Spain. but that you have conquered the great Don Quixote de la Mancha. I doubt very much.
I recognized him and his nag Rocinante, and his squire Sancho Panza. If that is not enough to validate the truth, my sword will do so.
Senor, here stands Don Quixote himself, unvanquished by you or any other knight. We shall settle this truth by force of arms. On horseback or on foot, which manner pleases you?
On foot.
De acuerdo.
And let this be the condition of our combat. The vanquished must comply with the wishes of the victor.
I agree to those terms. Sancho! To arms! We fight at dawn!
Squire, prepare.
Oh, sister, you should know. In Ana Lucia, it's custom among warriors. The one of the battle, the seconds cannot be idle. So, while our masters fight, we have to beat the tripas out of each other.
What? I've never heard that rule before.
We must fight for at least half an hour.
At least half an hour?
At least half.
Dawn breaks, but as soon as it becomes possible to distinguish one thing from another in the light of day, the first thing that Sancho Panza sets eyes upon is
the nose on that squire. Oh, it's huge. Senor, how did I not see that before?
Senor Knight, before we do battle, allow me the courtesy of knowing who you are.
I am the Knight of Mirrors.
a caballero de los espejos.
Look upon me and see your death.
With that, the two adversaries take to the field. Don Quixote de la Mancha on one side, and el caballero de los espejos on the other. Don Quixote,
Prepares for combat!
el caballero de los espejos.
Trojans!
Oh no! Watch out!
Ah!
Stop,
What's
he's What did you say you have a bachelor's degree? What good is a brain if you don't use it?
Senor, I will remove you of your head unless you state that my Dulcinea del Toboso exceeds in beauty and in virtue your Castledia de Vandalia.
Oh, I confess. I beseech you, allow me to rise. I am but badly battered. Oh.
Don Quixote rejoices in his victory over El Caballero de los Espejos and continues along the road to El Toboso. San Carrasco has his broken ribs attended to by his big-nosed squire.
Senor Carrasco, life is strange. Don Quixote's crazy, we're sane, he walks away healthy and proud, your grace is a battered and sad. Who's more crazy? I'll tell you who's more crazy. Me, for being your squire. I'm leaving. Mais bon. And I'm keeping the glasses.
Well, do as you please. I won't go home till I've given that Don Quixote a good beating. I no longer care about helping him recover his sanity. I want revenge.
We rejoin our knight and squire as they travel, lost in their own reveries.
Senor, forgive me, but I can't get the nose of that squire out of my head.
Since everything is artifice and mere illusion, Sancho, how else could the peerless Dulcinea appear before me as a rustic wench with malodorous breath and cataracts in her eyes? The perverse fresh dawn dared to cast that enchantment upon her. And yet, despite this, I am comforted because I, Don Quixote, vanquished his fearsome agent, the Knight of Mirrors. Let us ride, Sancho.
Senor, since you know everything, could you tell me something? Who was the first man to scratch his head? Oh, I think I know. I would guess Adam, because he was the first man, and he had a head, and he also had hair. And at some point he probably got itchy, so he probably had to scratch. Senor, I have another question. Who was the first acrobat? Oh, never mind. I know the answer to this one, too. It was Lucifer. When he was tossed out of heaven and tumbled into hell.
Sancho, may it please God that I see you mute before I die?
With all these adventures, I could be interred before you.
Sancho, I doubt very much that death will take you before death takes me.
Senor, never trust death. She tramples
the huts of the poor, as well as the castles of kings. She cuts down the green grass along with the dry. She is always thirsty, and drinks down the lives of everyone like cold water.
Oh, enough, Sancho. Stop before you collapse. I swear, with your natural wit and rustic intelligence, you could mount a pulpit.
Live a good life, that's all I know.
And then onward we go, Sancho.
Our friends ride a fair distance before emerging from a grove, wherein they cast eyes upon
Fair maidens, what appears to be a lady of high rank. Dismount, Sancho.
Base villain! How dare you treat me with such disrespect? How dare you wag your tongue against the peerless Dulcinea, you groveling ruffian? She inspires me. My arm is her instrument. In me, she fights. And through her, I live. Oh, what I would do to have such a knight defending my honor.
but Amarantya.
He's a skinny old man.
Of course, my knight would be young and handsome.
But would you allow him to
ravish you? Careful! Your Grace, what do you think?
Would you prefer a knight to protect you or carry you off?
Neither. I have my husband the Duke for such things. I am curious of this Sancho Panza, though.
But she's only a peasant.
And she has terrible clothing.
I find her the most amusing female imaginable. I'm not quite sure why.
What, then, do you think of Don Quixote?
Sancho, I now believe they are discussing my history.
I am curious to learn when Don Quixote will become Desaminarado of his lady Dulcinea del Toboso.
Desaminarado, the Dulcinea del Toboso, out of love with my lady? Why, I never!
What means this intrusion? Who do you think you are?
He is Don Quixote de la Mancha.
Oh, from the book. I must say your appearance does agree with the author's description.
Our Hidalgo borders on the age of 50. He has a spare figure and gaunt features.
Excuse us, senor. My friend Emerancia, the Duchess, and I were discussing of your exploits.
And your magic earrings.
Are you truly demented?
Senor, if you could, perhaps read us aloud a chapter from this volume, now consecrated by the touch of your hand.
Oh, it would be my pleasure.
Delightful.
Don Quixote. Yes. Of course, this part. Yes. Right. Where was I? Your Grace, in this rapid perusal, I find that the author uses several unfortunate phrases.
Such as what?
And their syntax is sometimes often muddled. Also, they often write without employing proper articles. Now, one can assume that if the author blunders in writing such essential particulars, then this book is riddled with errors. Fair ladies, I assure you I did not myself choose this author to be my historian.
Pardon me, fear you
ungrateful! Senor, was I mentioned anywhere in the book?
Why then, you must be
Sancho Panza.
That I am, and proud of it.
The illustrious scribe Don Quixote here. Our picnic basket.
Oh, food! An empty basket.
A peasant neighbor, a good woman with a small brain.
Oh,
And terrible clothing.
Don Quixote, Sancho Panza, you're both exceedingly well met. I'm very glad you've come.
Oh, it is our greatest pleasure to be in your service, your esteemed beauty.
Oh, softly, good Don Quixote, softly. With the lady Dulcinea hold sway, no others can reign.
Oh, if God can make one pretty pot, he can make another. And trust me, You are just as, if not more beautiful than the Lady Dulcinea herself.
Dear lady, I assure you, there is no knight errant on earth who has a squire more comical than Don Quixote.
That Sancho is comical, of course. A sign that she's shrewd. Don Quixote, Sancho Panza, I have an invitation for you. Perhaps you would like to come to one of my castles just beyond this grove.
Castles? Oh, it is our greatest pleasure, dear mistress. Thank you. Thank you so much for this great pleasure.
It is decided then.
To the Duchess! There's plenty of meat in the pot for this one.
And so Don Quixote and Sancho Panza accompany the Duchess to one of her country estates.
Castles. The Duchess sends word ahead to the Duke on how Don Quixote must be treated when they arrive. Ándale.
Who's writing this book?
Andamos todos.
Senor Don Quixote, I will gladly escort you to the castle.
And I shall escort the illustrious Sancho Panza.
Would you respond to some concerns that have arisen while reading of your admirable feats and deeds?
Of vuestros ordones.
Well, the Lady Dulcinea, does she continue to maintain her delicacy and modesty?
Or is she married? With child?
The Lady Dulcinea preserves her virgin state.
Now, mi estimado Sancho, I would like you to resolve certain questions I have upon reading the great history of Don Quixote.
Oh, yes, Your Grace. Ask anything at all.
All right. Since you did not actually go to El Toboso, and therefore did not actually see the Lady Dulcinea, then how do you dare lie to Don Quixote about speaking with her? You have deceived your master. This is very contrary to your good character as a squire.
Your Grace, you must understand. My master is mad. He will believe anything I tell him. For example, a short while ago, I told him that a country wench was the Lady Dulcinea. Now he believes that she has been enchanted by that awful Freston. Simple as that. He's a fool.
Who is the bigger fool, Sancho? The madman or the simpleton who follows him?
As soon as the knight and squire arrive at the castle,
The Duke embraces Don Quixote.
Oh,
Welcome to our castle, O greatest of all knight errants.
At your service, most esteemed Senor. Whoa.
It is true that he and Sancho Panza as well. They will provide unique entertainment for us.
Oh, are you excited for the castle?
Maybe.
The original Don Quixote and his squire is our house guest.
I promise you, husband, during the whole time they stay with us, we can make them believe anything. We will pretend we are in the book.
And food, drinks, anything?
I was thinking that.
Where do we begin?
Come, husband, and I shall tell you what I have in mind.
Come, Senor Knights. Sancho Panza, welcome. Bienvenidos. Aquí tienen su casa.
later that evening,
The Major Domo, at the request of the Duke and Duchess, assemble up best the greeting. Among the guests is
A highly venerated and deeply respected ecclesiastical scholar of the neighborhood, the very Reverend Monsieur Julio Gomez.
Oh, my master and I, we always stick together. We're a pair. Just as the saying goes, cara oveja con su pareja. Each lamb with his own.
Such wit, wisdom, and charm all in one.
To Sancho Panza.
To Sancho Panza.
Majordomo, is the disenchantment ready?
Si, Vuestra Excellencia.
Very well. And have you memorized your lines, Merlin?
Si.
Very well. When you're ready to begin, give us the signal.
Sir Don Quixote, what news lately have you heard of your lady Dulcinea del Toboso?
Have you sent her a giant lately? Or perhaps a wicked caitiff?
Oh, scoundrels, I have indeed dispatched her, and yes, giants also. But alas, how may they find her? She has been transformed into the visage of some random farm girl, a most unbearable enchantment of which I am the cause.
Will your misfortunes never end, dear knight?
What a great shame. How may we comfort you, dear Signor?
Perhaps soon we shall learn of how to disenchant your lady. But until then, to the peerless Dulcinea del Toboso.
To the peerless Dulcinea del Toboso.
Giants? Peasants? Enchantments? Your Excellency, desist from your buffoonery.
Reverend Monsignor, the actions of Don Quixote provide delight for all of us.
Don Demented. There are no knights errant, there are no giants, no miscreants, no enchanted ladies anywhere. Return to your own village.
The presence in which I stand binds my fury. Besides, I know that a cleric's weapon is the same as a woman's, namely, a tongue.
Oh, Senor, that is a good one.
I suppose you're that squire who has been promised some island or other?
Yes, I am Squire Sancho Panza, and I will govern islands if God should permit it.
Ah, I permit it. Friend Sancho, as a tribute to the illustrious Don Quixote, I confer upon you an island, one of which is in my possession. The island of...
The island of Barataria.
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 Oh, Sancho! Fall to the feet of his excellency and kiss him for what he has done to you. Kiss his feet for the great... Oh, Sancho!
Oh, thank you, Senor! Thank you, Your Highness!
I declare your excellency as insane as these two sinners.
Okay.
While they remain under your roof, I shall stay under my own.
Hurrah.
Hurrah!
Oh, what great melodious celebration. What is this? Why is this? What? Sancho, what?
Senor, how can there be thunder indoors?
What needs this sudden darkness? Oh!
I am Merlin, who has outlived the envious centuries that strive to hide the gallant deeds of valiant knight-errants, who are, and never be, dear to me. But my heart is troubled for the plaintiff of the dear, the peerless, Dulcinea del Toboso.
Young maid, I shall traverse the 7 regions of the earth until I am able to set you free! Ah!
Silencio! I know of her curse and I know of her fate, her transformation from a high-born dame to a peasant wench. But I know wherein lies the remedy for Dulcinea del Toboso, to regain her pristine base and form. The loyal squire, Sancho Panza, she must give 300 lashes upon her buttocks, robust and large, whipped in such a way it turns red and gives her pain. And with this message, gentles, I have come.
My buttocks? What could you possibly want with my buttocks?
Panza, you onion-eating coward! I shall defer the lashes upon you myself!
You heard, Merlin. She must deliver the lashes herself. You heard, Merlin.
Consent to bring comfort to the afflicted damsel, Sancho. Show courage.
With myself? But I am a governor! You're asking me to flog a governor.
The truth of the matter is, friend Sancho, if you do not do this, you will not be a governor.
What? But... Do I have to do them all at once?
Siga, Senor Gobernador.
The longer you wait, the more the poor, peerless Dulcinea del Toboso suffers. Please, Sancho.
Please.
Do it for Dulcinea. All right. I'll do it. As long as it's not in front of all of you.
Remember, your buttocks must be bared to heaven.
I gave myself 5 lashes.
Only 295 more to go.
And did you use the whip?
No,
Well, then what did you use?
my hand.
The successful conclusions of the adventures of Merlin so pleases the Duchess.
And the Duke, that they decide to move forwards with their deceptions. The servants and vassals are instructed on how to behave towards the honorable Governor Sancho Panza.
While the members of the court are advised on how to drive the chaste Don Quixote wild with illicit desires.
Valet! Friend Sancho, ready yourself to become Governor Panza of the island of Barataria.
The Baratarianos eagerly await your arrival.
By special arrangement, you have been given a celebrated physician.
Dr. Rodrigo Rosia, at your service.
Senor, that doctor looks suspiciously like the wizard Merlin.
That would involve a strange coincidence, Sancho.
And I can't help but notice some resemblance to that major domo.
Sancho. I leave you now and remain here. And I wish you the best of luck in your journey.
Oh.
Sancho, you still have so much to learn.
Don't you worry about me, senor. I'll be keeping an eye out for trouble. Farewell.
Tonight, the seduction begins. Senor Don Quixote, I fear that you pine for your beloved squire.
I am indeed filled with melancholy over the loss of my squire Sancho.
El Caballero de la Triste Figura.
Ah, soy yo.
Don Quixote, there is no need to be so sad. 2 of my ladies, Emerencia and Altisidora, they would delight in serving you to your utmost satisfaction.
Oh, I beg your pardon. No.
They are as beautiful as roses.
I ask that you maintain at all times a barrier between my inclinations and my virtues. They would be but thorns, not flowers, and they would pierce my very soul. I shall now retire.
But, oh, Emerencia, do not urge me to sing, for you know that that moment that handsome stranger entered the castle, I can do nothing but weep. My dear Altisidora, everyone in the castle is asleep, except for the one and only keeper of your heart. His candle burns. Sing to him, my unhappy companion, and I shall accompany you.
I have read of tales with such wooings and serenades and ravishments. This Altisidora is surely in love with me. And who can blame her, for I, a knight whom no damsel can behold without becoming enamored of my body.
O night of purest worth, the mancha e'er brought forth, in seeking thine own foe, has caused another's woe.
So fortify thy knight.
Oh, hear this wretched maid, by cruel love betrayed, a virgin chaste and dear, young, tender, and sincere. As yet I have not seen the borders of 15. My temper's always guide when rightly understood. My voice, as you can hear, is tuneful, sweet, and clear. How happy would I in thine embraces lie, while on some cushioned bed I'd stroke thy noble head. These graces all so clever, and thine to have forever. And I, who that adora, am called Altisidora.
Wretched tribe of maidens of 15, do not molest my virtue.
O night of purest worth, the mancha e'er brought forth, thou wouldst my heart avert. Oh, now give me the cure.
Kind maiden, I believe I know the reasoning for this spasm.
I don't know what it could possibly be. Altisidora is the hardiest girl among us. A plague on anyone who would try and cause such discomfort.
Oh, noble knight, Rashleigh.
Oh, unrequited love is the cause of her suffering. I know this feeling well. Oh.
Meanwhile, on Barataria.
The village, with almost 1,000 residents, is one of the best in the dukedom.
You are to welcome your new governor, and call yourself the citizens of the island of Barataria.
Island? We are in the middle of a plain.
No importa.
The villagers, islanders, welcome the Gobernador Panda.
Make way for the governor.
Oh, it is grand to be a governor. The platter of roasted partridges smells so good.
You shall not eat them.
Why not?
I, in the official decision, pointed to all who preside over this island, and there are certain rules that must be followed. A full stomach is bad, but a stomach full of partridges is very bad. Partridges, forbidden.
Well then, I'll have the beef.
That could be allowed, but it's marinated.
Well perhaps then... Oh, rabbit!
Rabbits? Rabbit is a long-eared animal, not fit for governor.
Well, what about this?
Too hot. Too spicy. Too moist. Too cold.
Stop! Don't you dare tap another dish! I am starving! What kind of doctor are you?
I understand the body must be nourished, so you may consume this. 3 raisins.
3 raisins?
Torture her some more.
Senor Gobernador, there's some plaintiffs who request an audience.
I will see them.
Senor Gobernador, I have a grievance.
As do I, Your Honor.
What is your grievance?
You see, Your Grace, I am a tailor. The other day, this old lady came into my shop, handed me a piece of material, and asked me if there was enough to make a pointed cap. I told her there was.
All tailors are thieves. I believe this tailor was trying to cheat me of the cloth left over from making just one cap. So I asked her if she could make 2.
To which I responded, see,
but I still believe she was trying to cheat me out of the cloth left over. So I kept adding caps.
And I kept adding C's.
Until we reached
4 caps. And then today, she comes into my shop, refuses to pay me for my labor, and then insists that I pay her for the material.
But first, Senora, make her show the caps.
Bring them forward.
What nonsense will our governor say to this?
Well, this is an easy judgment for a reasonable person. You, old woman, lose your material. And you, tailor, lose the cost of your labor. You see, you're both fools. I'm so hungry. What I would give for just one onion.
You've already been fed your dinner.
Justicia, Senora Gobernadora, I have a grievance. For 23 years, I have defended my body against Moors, Christians, Basques, and then this man comes along and takes me in the middle of a field and uses my body like a dirty old rag.
Senor, I am a poor herder of swine. This morning I left to sell 4 pigs in another village, and upon my return I met this woman on the side of the road. The devil made us lie down together. I never forced her, I paid her enough. But she wanted more, so she dragged me here.
Senor, do you have any gold coins?
20 ducados.
Give them to the plaintiff.
Gracias, Senor Gobernadora, for all virgins in need.
Senor, fetch me those coins.
Senor Gobernador! This man tried to take back the money that you gave to me.
Was he by chance successful?
That weakling takes money from me? Not a chance.
She's right! I'm not strong enough. I quit.
Senora, if you had guarded your body like you have just guarded these coins, not even Hercules himself could have forced you. You are a fallen woman. Now, leave this island and do not be seen here again under penalty of 200 lashes. Go with God and be gone. Senor, if you wish to keep your money, control your urge to lie with strange women.
No longer amusing.
Warned you that Sancho is a shrewd one.
Your Grace, what next?
To arms! To arms! Barataria is under assault!
Dulcinea, oh Dulcinea, where art thou, lady of my heart? Oh love, when my thoughts swing to the suffering you bring, I swiftly run towards death, hoping to end the pain that I feel. But when I reach that peaceful goal, the port from my tormented soul, I feel such joy that life revives me and does not let me cross. Thus, my living kills me. Oh, wondrous fate, mine is the novel state. I go on living, and I constantly die. Sancho?
Senor! Oh, senor. I wish to be in your service again.
You destroyed your island?
See, the burdens of government are not for these shoulders. Can I ever join you on your adventures?
Come, Sancho, let us continue more adventures.
It was time for Don Quixote and Sancho Panza to quit the idle life offered by the Duke and Duchess. And now, we must to Barcelona.
Freedom, Sancho, is the greatest element of one's life, and captivity is the greatest evil that can befall a man. Oh, freedom is just precious.
Senor, I would disagree. I'd have to say that the greatest evil is hunger.
Oh, Sancho, I was born to live by dying and for you to die by eating.
And I will happily meet the end that heaven has arranged for me.
Sancho, it is time. Let us rest.
Sancho Panza falls quickly into the arms of sleep. But Don Quixote's imagination torments him.
Dulcinea, 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 Dulcinea. Wait, what? No! No, Dulcinea, come back! No! My lady Dulcinea, return to me! No! 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 Dulcinea, I just... No!
Senor! Senor, stop it!
You dare raise your hand against your lord and master!
I am my own lord! And if you promise not to beat me, I will let you go.
Spare me, palabra de honor, I swear, I swear. I'm sorry, Sancho, I forgive you. But you must forgive me. For man cannot control the first impulses of his base passion.
You are forgiven, senor.
Aye. Then let us continue on the road into Barcelona.
Our friends travel hard together until they arrive at Barcelona and see,
Oh, the ocean!
which they have never seen before.
Senor, it goes on forever.
It does indeed seem to. What a truly wondrous sight it is. Now, Sancho, we enter Barcelona in the manner in which we originally intended. On foot.
Oh.
Dismount.
Hey everybody, it's Don Quixote from the book.
Don Quixote de la Mancha!
Look, it's the squire, Sancho Panza.
Sancho Panza!
Welcome, welcome.
Our favorite heroes!
Oh, Sancho, I wager these people have read our history.
It seems they would. An honor. It's time to celebrate.
Come, eat with us!
Eat? Come with us, knight of my heart.
Don Quixote de la Mancha. I am the Knight of the White Moon, and I am here with hostile intent to compel you to recognize that my lady is more fair than your Dulcinea. If you acknowledge this fact publicly, you spare me the trouble of killing you. If you presume to engage me in single combat and I defeat you, you must submit yourself to my will.
Senor, my lady Dulcinea exceeds in beauty yours. I accept your challenge. On horseback or on foot, which manner pleases you?
On foot, now.
De acuerdo.
De acuerdo.
Go Dawn!
spawn, are you scared? Come fight me, you coward! Ha! Ho! Ha! Oh! You are a dead man, knight, unless you proclaim the supremacy of my lady's beauty.
My lady Dulcinea reigns as the most beautiful woman in the entire world. My weakness shall not discredit that truth. You've already taken my honor. Take my life.
That I shall not do. But the fame of Lady Dulcinea's beauty flourish in full perfection. All the satisfaction I ask of you, Don Quixote, is that you lay aside your arms, retire to your village, abstain from seeking adventures, and never draw sword again.
What is your name? Where do you come from?
I am Sanson Carrasco, bachelor of the University of Salamanca. I'm now famous for curing Don Quixote de la Mancha.
Why? What have you done?
I'm here on a mission of pity.
I forgive you, senor.
How dare you take away our entertainment?
Don Quixote should never be cured!
Senor, come on, sit up straight now. You would probably have broken any ribs.
Sancho, here was Troy. Here fortune vanquished my glory. Here my deeds were obscured, and here my happiness fell, never to rise again.
Senor, don't be sad. It is natural that noble hearts endure the most horrid misfortunes. Look at me. I was once governor of an island, and now I'm a squire. I'm not sad, because I know that fate is fickle, drunk, and most of all blind.
Sancho, where did you learn such wit, such wisdom? I have no fortune. Each man is the architect of his own fortune. Now that I am toppled, I am ordinary. It's time, Sancho.
For what?
It's time to go home.
The vanquished Don Quixote and his excellent squire return to his village, where they are met by the nun, the bachelor, and the barber.
Bienvenido, senor.
Why, Senor Quixote has returned.
At the gates of his house, he is met by his niece and his housekeeper. Uncle, at last. The two good women, which the housekeeper and niece undoubtedly are, take gentle care of him, whether due to melancholy caused by his defeat or simply the will of heaven. He falls into a fever and remains unconscious for several days. A physician is called, a pulse taken. The diagnosis? The health of the spirit must be attended to. The health of the body is in danger.
My judgment is restored. I recognize now my foolishness and the danger I was in because of those detestable books of chivalry. I am no longer Don Quixote de la Mancha. Senores, I feel as though I'm dying. Give Sancho and I some time. Sancho, in my madness, I made you my squire, contributed to your being the governor of an island. Now that I am sane, I wish I should give you the rule of a kingdom, which you so richly deserve from the innocence of your heart and for your fidelity. Forgive me, Sancho, for making you seem to the world as mad as I was. Forgive me for making you believe.
No, senor, no. You cannot die. The greatest madness a man can let himself succumb to is death. Come on, let's get up. We'll go to the countryside. We can go on more adventures. So many more adventures. We will find the Lady Dulcinea, disenchanted, as pretty as you please.
Sancho, my time for adventures is over. I am Alonso Quixote. To the author who composed my history, I ask their forgiveness for being the cause of writing such foolishness, such fiction. Sancho, let us go softly. There are no birds today in the nests of yesteryear.
And so ends the tale of Don Quixote el Ingenioso Hidalgo de la Mancha, whose native place I do not wish to recollect, so that all the villagers of La Mancha may contend for the honor of having given him birth. The crumbling bones of my Don Quixote rest in his grave, incapable of undertaking a new sally. Those he made were enough. For me alone was Don Quixote born, and I for him. He knew how to act, and I to write. We were destined for each other, and in many ways we are one. And so, with this, may God give you health, and may not forget me. Adios.